Hello YouTube, my name's Nero and today we use some Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, playing a bit of Domination here on the map Ascend, running around with the MP11. Now I'm still using the Devourer variation of the MP11, I believe, in this gameplay. I ended up getting the Goliath, which is by far the best possible variant of the MP11, but that's not in this gameplay. So I still do pretty good with it though. I'm using a pretty fun kill streak I've talked about a couple times, basically taking the remote turret and making it a laser remote turret, and then adding the rippable attachment, so you basically can rip off this thing, and then you're running around with what is essentially a death machine kill streak, but instead of being like your standard traditional death machine, it's actually a laser death machine, which is a whole lot of fun to use. So I use that throughout the entirety of the gameplay, as well as running around with my MP11. Hopefully you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy the gameplay. Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about skill-based matchmaking, which I know I've already made probably 2 videos on the entire topic of skill-based matchmaking, but it's something that's so prevalent within the Call of Duty franchise, especially here in Advanced Warfare, that I really wanted to make as many videos on it as I need to be able to cover it perfectly. And some new videos come out by Drifter, who a lot of you guys may know as the guy that does the in-depth videos. He does great videos over there on his YouTube channel, really breaking down guns by the numbers and stuff like that. And he actually went and did a bunch of testing on skill-based matchmaking and how it can affect you and me, and whether or not it exists, and how it works within Advanced Warfare. If you haven't checked out that video, there's going to be a link to it down in the video description. I definitely recommend watching it. It's about a 20-minute video, but it's a very, very good, informative video, especially if you're somebody that's really into Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and you want to know just about everything you want to know about the game, right? So you should probably watch that video if you're really interested or have strong feelings about the idea of skill-based matchmaking. According to his video, there is skill-based matchmaking in Advanced Warfare. While it was really hard to test how your score per minute actually plays a factor, your kill-death ratio definitely plays a big factor in the skill-based matchmaking, as well as your win-loss ratio. Right, these are 2 big things. And what I could take away from the video, if I took away really anything from that video, it'd say if you have anywhere between like a 1.4 KD to a 2.0 KD, somewhere in that range, if you're in there, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are, you're primarily going to play against other people of that skill level that really have that really good KD, right? They're good players. And that's the thing. In Call of Duty, you can be a great player and not have a 2 KD. That's really kind of thing. If you want to be a great player, you don't necessarily need to have a great KD. That just could mean you're using bad guns. You see what I do here in Advanced Warfare. A lot of people consider me to be a pretty good player in Call of Duty. I've been making videos of it here on YouTube for almost 4 years now, right? And so people consider me to be a good player, but I don't even have a 2 KD in Advanced Warfare. I'm actually rocking a 1.8-ish, somewhere in that range. That's because I like to do what I'm doing in this gameplay. I like to run around with the MP11. I like to use the laser death machine because they're fun. The problem with facing good players all the time, which is a pretty big factor in Advanced Warfare, you're really going to always end up facing good players. Like I said, if you have like that 1.4 KD to that 2 KD, somewhere in that range, you are going to be facing people of that same skill level most of the time when you're playing Advanced Warfare. That's one of the things we learned from Drifter's video. And the thing about playing good players, right, the thing about facing other people that have around those stats is those people always lend themselves to use the best gun in the game. They always gravitate towards the best guns in the game, because that's what Call of Duty is about, right? That's what Call of Duty is about. It's about instant gratification. It's about running around and taking out everybody and having the satisfaction of knowing that you just outplayed somebody. And the easiest way to do this is to use the strongest guns. The strongest guns have been in every single Call of Duty ever, right? You think of the M16 and the MP5 from COD 4. If you're facing a good player, they would be using those guns, right? That's how it worked. Or maybe a Juggernaut P90. You think of the MP40 from World at War, the UMP from Modern Warfare 2, or the ACR, right? You think of the FAMAS and the 74U from Black Ops, the MP7 and the ACR from Modern Warfare 3, the MSMC and the M8A1 from Black Ops 2. It goes over and over and over and over. Every single game there is going to be these guns. Of course, here in Advanced Warfare, we see people running around with nothing but the ASM-1 and the Ball 27. That's what's really kind of annoying about it. That's really what is annoying about it for me, is the idea that just because I have good stats, right, just because I'm competent at the game, all the people I'm facing are going to be using these weapons. That really kind of comes down to Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer needs to balance out their game more. They need to make sure these guns are not ridiculously powerful. But at the same time, like I've talked about in prior videos, it's really hard to do that, because let's say, for example, you take the Ball 27 and the ASM-1, you nerf them into the ground to a point where they literally shoot like water or maybe marshmallows out of them. That happens. If they were to do that, then I can tell you, like, the KFI would be like the new SMG that everybody's using, and I can tell you that the AK-12 would be the new rifle that everybody's using. It's just a matter of that. That's what it's it's not so much a problem with the game and with the developers, I suppose. It's more of a problem with the Call of Duty community in general and their incessant need to try to use the best stuff all of the time rather than using any kind of weapon variety whatsoever. That's what really kind of bothers me. Just watch the kill feed in all of the gameplays that I'm posting up here. Just watch the kill feed. Mainly the people on my team, we don't generally run around with the OP guns. I suppose they might. I don't know. You never see me using it, but you look at like the opposing kill feed, it's almost always ASM-1. It's almost always Ball 27. It's so ridiculous ridiculous. I'm actually looking at the kill feed in this gameplay. Looks like my teammates are even using that stuff as well, and it's just like ridiculous because if people feel like you're having a bad game, if they get angry, they don't feel like trying, they just use these guns, and that's the worst part about it. That's the worst part about it, is the fact that people can just they have these go-to guns that they can just go to, and they're just so ridiculously easy to use, and everybody ends up using them, and it's like, I really wish the Call of Duty community would just try out new stuff, have a little bit of variety. It's awesome. It's a lot better that way. One of the big things, one of the big topics about the idea of skill-based matchmaking in Advanced Warfare is that it's not fair to do players to get dominated. It's not fair to them to be, coming in here and having someone like me that's been playing for 7 years, or people that have been playing longer than me, or just people that are really good. It's not really fair, and I can kind of understand that in some ways. Like, a very popular game, probably one of the biggest games out there, is League of Legends. The reason I don't play League of Legends is because people have been playing that game forever, and if I go in there, I just get dominated by people that have been playing forever, right? That's what really kind of turns me off playing that game. And they're trying to avoid that with Call of Duty. They're trying to avoid that. They're trying to lower the skill ceiling. They've definitely been trying to do that for a couple years now. They're trying to lower it so newer players have an easier time transitioning into the game so they can continue going on with the franchise. The thing about that is, though, the franchise itself is not like it's on its last leg. They're really trying to cater to newer players and to worse players a lot in these Call of Duty games, especially with what you see in Call of Duty Ghost and what we've seen here in Advanced Warfare. They're really trying to cater to these newer players. They really are. They're trying to protect them. They're trying to make them feel safe. They're trying to make it so they enjoy the game so they become a repeat customer, right? But there's a problem with that. There's a problem with that. The problem is, while you may be getting new customers because these new guys have never played Call of Duty before, they're starting to play the game and they're actually enjoying it rather than just being dominated most of the time when they're playing. While that's happening, all the hardcore fans, people like me that have been playing forever, we're getting annoyed of the game. We're getting annoyed. The people that have built your franchise up, the people that are, not to say like YouTube videos or anything like that, which YouTube's a big part of Call of Duty, but not to say like people like me who make videos of it or anything like that, but just people in general, the people in general who have been playing the game for years, right? And they've been supporting the franchise forever. Those people are the people that are getting turned off because the decisions they're making in terms of skill-based matchmaking and changing around how the game is played and making it so we're always just in this constant sweatfest. It makes it so Call of Duty is more stressful than fun. That's what really is kind of happening with the entire idea of skill-based matchmaking. If there's new players, let them go up against good players occasionally. Of course, maybe they don't have to go up against them all the time, and that doesn't happen. Let's not act like every single game these new players are going to get dominated. They're still going to have their time to shine. They're still going to enjoy themselves, but they are going to get beat a lot of the time, and that's how it should be, to be perfectly honest. When I started playing Call of Duty, that's how it was. When a lot of us started playing Call of Duty, if any of us are any kind of old school player that started... I suppose if we started before Modern Warfare 3, I'd say you're more of an old school Call of Duty player who played the older Call of Duty games that did not hold your hand whatsoever, right? I remember it, man. I remember I would get dominated every game. I was awful. I didn't know what I was doing. I would like spawn in. I'd like take 2 steps out of my spawn. And I'd lay down next to a wall and just aim down sight with an RPD light machine gun. I'm like, okay, if anyone walks by, I'm gonna get them. That's how I would play. I didn't know what I was doing. I was terrible. The game didn't hold my hand in that respect. It did not hold my hand. It didn't tell me what to do. Nothing like that. I was awful. I was on my own, and I had to figure out how to play it. I got dominated quite a bit. I did. I was the person getting dominated every single game until I started becoming the one that did the dominating. I would see all these people and how fun it looked. Like, this was back in Call of Duty 4, mind you. And it's like, look at these guys, man. That guy got 50 kills in a domination match. I don't think I've gotten 50 kills total ever. You know, that guy's crazy good. This guy's had a helicopter up the entire game. I've never even gotten a helicopter. I want the helicopter because I could see how fun the game looked when people were doing good, right? I could see how awesome the game looked when people were able to dominate, and I wanted to become that person. I wanted to be that person that was dominating in Call of Duty. I wanted to be the person getting all the cool numbers and all the high scores and impressing my friends and whatnot, and that was great. So I continued to play. I started watching YouTube videos. I really kind of got a vested interest in the franchise and in the game series as a whole, and I started paying attention to every little thing. I started trying to improve myself. I started thinking up, like when the match was loading, I would start thinking like, okay, so if we get this spot, if we spawn in on this side, I know exactly where I'm going to go to get that B flag. If I spawn on this side, I know where I'm going to go get that B flag. I'm probably going to run my MP5 on this map, just because it's a lot more of a submachine gun map. But then again, I could rock my M4 carbine on this map and play a bit more conservative, a bit more long range. I was thinking about that, and I was improving as a player. Whereas where it sits right now with the entire idea of skill-based matchmaking, especially since they've revved it up a lot here in Advanced Warfare, if you're a bad player, you're not going to have that happen. You're just going to go in there and you're going to do good some games, you're going to do bad some games, and it's just going to be you're never going to improve. You're never going to improve because you're always going to be facing people of that same casual skill level, and because of that, you're never going to improve. You probably won't get very vested in the franchise as a whole. That is my thought on skill-based matchmaking. I know it's the 3rd video I made on the topic, but You know, guys, it's a very popular thing here in Advanced Warfare. A lot of people are always talking about it. It's a hot button issue, and I figured I would go ahead and talk about it a little bit more, especially after Drifter made such a great video explaining that skill-based matchmaking does exist and kind of breaking it down by the numbers and showing you what you can expect based upon your own personal stats within the game. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. Of course, let me know in the comment section below your opinion on skill-based matchmaking. Should it go? Should it stay? Do you like it? What do you think about it? Everything I talk about in this video, give me an opinion. I'll definitely be interested to read about that. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.